What is up, everyone? So, man, as you guys know, we were planning on doing some rotary stuff this week while I'm still here in the U.S.
Big rotary guy
now. I'm not yet, because I haven't touched one yet, so I can't. Rotary guy, right? so today, me and Spoon were talking, and we needed some type of rotary fix before I left. Something, right? We came up with an idea to actually see if we can get some of that fixed out of the 86, right? What do all rotaries do is the question. For now, before we start the video, though, I do want to get serious for a second, and there is something I would like to talk about, and it's something you guys might have noticed in the last couple weeks or so, maybe in the last month or so. If you guys saw, unfortunately, Ant hasn't been in the videos as much as previous. We were trying to find a time to actually talk about this, but I figured we should talk about it before I actually leave for the next trip. With the new year comes some new changes, and unfortunately, Eddie and Ant are no longer part of the Oaks Garage staff. But saying that, Eddie and Ant are 1000% still part of the Oaks Garage family. They still are extremely close friends. I love the guys to death. Yeah. Though they might not be here working on my things, they are still coming around, hanging around. They're still our homies. There is
still working, grinding.
Still grinding. Ant's actually over in DJ's shop right now working on his whip, and I actually want to show that because he's been making amazing progress, and I think he deserves some light. Ant a lot has changed, and I'm gonna let Ant guide it because, or it's just gonna speak for itself. Look at it, check it out. So T-Bone, what did you do? What changed?
But basically I stripped the car down to like nothing in the front end, and it got a full respray and undercoating.
Beyond it just having like a fresh coating, and you really wanted to do this. So,
oh yeah, I did.
So it's not, I wouldn't call it a full bay shave, but it's pretty damn close. I know you're hype on this one, but your radiator support, or your core support shave
has like nothing to it besides your radiator mounts and your hood prop.
so smooth. Even though it's a silver front, there's the ports for the pop-up headlights in it, and well, it's never going to be a pop. It's never going to be a pop-up. So you didn't touch the engine much at all, did you?
Not really. I just resealed like basically top to bottom. Yeah. All new gaskets, all new seals.
SR good.
Hopefully it's good to go.
He already had the combo. You know, he's got the G25, the Arctic manifold, bigger injectors, the Linky Stew, the Greddy pan, like the Greddy intake. It's like the quintessential street car SR. Good. New intercore piping. We're gonna tune it on E85, and then he'll be able to terrorize the streets for another summer. So. So Ant clearly has a lot of work ahead of him. Well, I have faith. I mean, you know what you're doing. If you guys want to continue to show Ant love and to actually follow his build, guys, make sure you go follow him on Instagram. We'll put it right here, and maybe he'll actually post to Instagram more.
A little bit.
A little bit more. I know when you're like working, the last thing you want to do is take pictures. You just want to get it done, but it'd be kind of cool to see it. It's like nostalgic for me to see this, because like, you know, this is what I was doing, you know, not too long ago, and it's kind of cool to see it.
Yeah.
You like
doing the same thing.
But this is cool. Good luck. But for now, we have some work to do, and well, the big question leads to, what is the most rotary thing ever besides Braps? Fire. Spitting big ass flames, right? So our goal today is to make the 86 spit some big ass flames, but in a, we'll say, creative way. Okay, so you guys have seen us spit flames with this thing before, right? We had it spiced up on the tune. We're spitting backfire flames. It was cool. We want to make it a little bit more consistent. We want to make them a little bit bigger, and we want it to be a little less harsh on the engine, since, well, it's a very nice engine, and I don't want to put any extra wear on it. Just trying to be goofy, right? Today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this thing to have a bunch of unburnt fuel in the exhaust, but we need a way to ignite it. That's why we need a spark plug. So you guys have seen other channels do this before, and like try to make this happen. You guys have probably seen flamethrower kits before where they're shooting propane in the exhaust and spark plugs and whatnot, but we're gonna try and do this as actually legit as possible. Since we are on a Lynx standalone, we have full control over what's happening in the engine, which means we can actually control it in a nice manner, and we could use the ECU to actually control the spark plug versus just using some type of handheld mechanism, and try to actually make this seem pretty legit. I haven't seen anyone really do it legit yet.
It's always really sketchy.
It's always really, which is sick. I'm all for it. But the goal today is to get this spark plug inside the exhaust and, well, wire it up nicely. So my goal is to get it as close to the tailpipe as physically possible, but we have a muffler and we're not touching this thing. So I'm thinking we could take this, get our wire here, and we can just put it. I mean, that looks pretty nice, right? Low key, you'll never see it.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it's there.
The only problem is I could not find a bolt or something to weld as like a bung for this. So we're gonna drill a hole and see if we can kind of just like cross thread it in. I could order that up. That sound good?
Yeah, we can always put a bung in there afterwards. Here you go.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Oh yeah, I can feel the legitness already. Play the conservative route here. I did try really hard to find. This is it's M14 by 125. Not very common. Just gotta get the bite, and it might just kind of thread itself in. I would use an LS coil because I have a bunch of them and they're really cheap, but I couldn't find the pigtail for it.
Yeah.
What?
Derek probably has a pigtail.
Probably does, but we're in a time crunch, and since we're doing rotary things, we're gonna use IGN-1As. See? Comes with a pigtail. This is like the gnarliest thing ever for it, but let's see. We can mount it like right here. Make a little bracket. Doesn't that look legit? All right, Spoon, you got it? Plug that thing in there.
Harness made.
You know, at this point, you're probably wondering, like, why do these, these supercars spit flames, this, and this? Those dudes basically just heat their exhaust up so much that the exhaust is so hot that it ignites the flames, right? It's easier when your exhaust is this short. You get like the stock VQ guys that just
It's easy when your turbo's right here and the exhaust is right here.
Yeah, exactly. Or you get the guys with the stock VQs and they're just hoppa, hoppa, whoppa for like 40 minutes at the car meet until their exhaust temps get so high that it just does these little baby backfires. No, just put an IGN-1A in the back of your tailpipe. I just see people do this with try to do this with stock cars and stuff. And we have a link that we can do fancy things, so. All right, so to make this coil work, we need 3 wires, right? We need a power, a ground, and we need a signal from the ECU.
Please try again.
Siri's talking. On the ECU side, it's gonna be really easy. This is an aux output, which we have plenty of extra ones with our K-Series plug and play by Link. On our expansion loom, right here, we have an extra one just waiting for us to tie into right here. So we'll splice into here, switch 12, and then a ground, and then we're ready to push some buttons. And of course, there's ways to shoot flames out these cars without having a spark plug in the damn exhaust. You could do it via the tune. You could over-enrich the decel with a bunch of retard timing, and yeah, it'll blow the front through the valves, through the exhaust, blah, 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 blah. But of course, that does put a lot of extra wear and tear on your hardware, inside the engine, your poor head, all this stuff. And the flame, honestly, won't be as potentially big as it might be with the spark plug, right? Yeah. So let's key on. And let's see if we can spark test this thing first before we actually start running the function for it. All right, Spoon. We're gonna test it real quick. Ready? Nothing? IG-1As are supposed to be triple grounded, and I was just trying to get away with 1 ground for now, but you need all 3. How's it going? Do you hear it? We should hear that. Click, 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 click. Nothing? All right, let's look at the next issue. Nothing?
Nothing.
Much later.
All right, we just checked over literally everything. We tried, because I have 2 coils. These are for the 13B, by the way. We bench tested them, and they're still not working. I can't imagine these being bad out the box. I don't think so, but let's throw another smart coil on.
K-Series.
K-Series?
K-Series.
It's Honda. It always works. You know, you try and do nice things, Spoon.
No, bro, doing hood rat things. They want you to do hood rat things.
Well, we got a smart coil, which won't look as pretty, but it's a K-Series coil, so we know it's gonna work.
This is such a fun idea.
I hope this is like the most viewed video of 2023. If it actually freaking works, we're gonna find out. Bench test this and hold this to something. Hold it to a ground or something. So really, all you need to do to bench test a coil is, right? Power and ground, mint. Take your ECU trigger and just ground it. Because all the ECU does is ground the circuit. Spark. It's not sparking?
Nope.
Oh, this is bad. Nothing?
Nope.
There's some bullshittery happening. Continuity power, yup. I do the middle wire. No fires, right?
Nope.
That's some bull.
Oh, shit, love you this.
Ooh, that got me.
That one fired.
It fired on the high?
Fuck.
That got me too.
It also got me.
That was
As bad as you.
yeah, that went through my chest.
I was holding the plug.
Oh man, it went
He
through my
goes, no,
chest
not that
too.
one. I said, let me try that one.
Oh, my nipples are probably hard from that.
What'd you do?
You touched the power wire. It shouldn't fire on the high. It fires on the low. Well,
Fire.
I felt it in my man boobs, dude. That was wild.
My elbow feels good all of a sudden, dude. I'll tell you what.
Do it again, but no one hold on to shit, all right?
Like, yeah.
It's firing?
Yeah.
That shouldn't work. The coil should fire when you ground the signal wire. That's calling an active state low, right? The coil fires when we give it positive 12 volt, right? Which means it's active state high. It shouldn't fire on the active state high, and no, it's not wired wrong, but it does. And if it works, for now, we just want to see this thing spark. So, luckily in the ECU, you could define it as a high fire, right? Active state high. Is it working? No. Fuck. It's going? It's fucking going. I ran out of time yesterday, but since the coil's playing games and I don't feel like dealing with it, I decided to relay the coil itself so the ECU doesn't have to deal with the nonsense of this, right? ECU is going to control the relay like a typical relay. That is going to then turn the coil on. This is supposed to be easy and simple, but things don't work because this is cars, baby. So, come into here, I don't care. We're going to turn it on, right? Watch this. Key on. Ready? Spoon. Watch your fingers, all right? Yeah, that thing's barking now.
Yeah, that's a way better spark than
Like that? Yeah.
Shut it off so I can touch it.
Want to play games?
Oh yeah, it's hitting.
Oh shit.
Is that thing zooming or what?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Bet. All right. We got to plug in the exhaust. Now, let's write a little functions for it so it's just not on all the time. We're going to go to a GP output, right? And this is going to allow us to write a little bit of a simple function for this setup, right? We're going to name this Flames Faux Days. So what output we're using, we have aux 6 selected on the board, and we tested it already, we're good. So you can set it up for multiple different conditions, right? Just like a simple function. We're gonna do 2 conditions. First one we're gonna set is engine speed. We want engine speed to be greater than, we'll say 2,500 RPM, right? Because we don't want to just like see sparking at idle. And then, since we want it on the D cell, what we could do is we could either do it in vacuum pressure, right? Or we could do it on TPS. If we're off the TPS, then you're off the throttle, right, on D cell. Okay, so then we just want the TPS to be less than, we'll say 3% throttle, right? That's our simple function. So now, when we rev it up, we let off the gas on the D cell, there'll be 0% TPS and it'll be above 3,000 RPM. It should allow the spark plug to fire, which should then hopefully ignite the unburnt fuel in the exhaust, and Steve loses eyebrows. So let's get the car warmed up and see if we can get this to happen. I got 2 concerns. One, the spark plug's not far enough back that there might not be enough oxygen in the exhaust to actually ignite with the unburnt fuel, right? That's issue number 1. And 2, It's ethanol. I don't know if ethanol would have a harder time igniting in terms of being in like a more of a gas form. Ethanol isn't as volatile as pump gas, but whatever. We're gonna make something spit flames. Cold start, ethanol. It's good. So we're gonna pull up our runtime values on the link and look at our function right here, AE86. You see it? So we're gonna make sure it's activating. So Spoon, rev it up and then let go. Boom. You see it active on the decel right there?
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's just try it as is, how it's at. Rev it up a couple times, see if it does anything. If not, then we'll start pushing some buttons. We got nothing coming from it, so we're gonna have to push some buttons. Now, one thing you gotta remember is you gotta make sure your overrun fuel cut is off, right? Because overrun fuel cut is a function which will actually cause your injectors not to fire on the decel, since you technically really don't need fuel on the decel. Some people like it, some people makes it smoother to get back on the throttle. Other cars don't really care for it, and some people do like it because they do like the cooling properties of the fuel going into the cylinders on decel, right? Whatever, we're not gonna talk about that. Overrun fuel cut is off, so we don't gotta worry about that. What we can try to do first is to over enrich our decel zones. We can go from there, and it might honestly even like pulling a little bit out. It might actually like it a little bit leaner because it might be having a hard time igniting such a rich mixture. So start by over enriching it first and see what happens. We need more. Now we're gonna actually try and lean it out a little bit and see what it does. Let's go give it a shot. Yeah, like loads it up a little bit, huh? Are they big enough? I don't know if they're not big enough.
Oh shit!
Are they hitting? I can't see them like that. It's a K-series, it's fine.
It's fine.
Well, we got flames. I was hoping for steady flames.
You wanted that freaking afterburn.
I wanted that afterburn, so I don't know, maybe it does need that like propane injection.
I don't know.
I wonder how pump gas would be versus the ethanol. So a lot of guys do propane. I was hoping we wouldn't have to do the whole propane thing, but we want those big ass rotary flames, bro. One thing I'm really worried about is the fact that the spark plug is so actually deep into the exhaust. I feel like it really needs to be more towards the tip of it, especially since there really isn't much oxygen in there. So we're just gonna try and rest this at the tip, see if it does anything for the sake of science while we're here, because I feel like we're all pretty curious.
That's why we need lab coats.
Yeah, that's why we need lab coats.
Lab coats, and I need you to rest that on the tip. Pause.
Sake of science.
There we go.
Yeah, that's official.
Jim Nye, the spoon guy. When your parents leave you alone for the weekend with the 86.
Honestly, though, like being an adult is so much more fun because you can just do kid shit. But
Imagine you have the same like stupid ideas as a kid as an adult with all the freedom. Dangerous.
that's what I want, like that longer flame. I just don't know if that spark plug is really truly enough to to fully ignite it, because you can see if we hold the torch there, we got that decel flame. That's what we need. Spark plug just ain't cutting it.
We gotta figure out that bigger coil.
We gotta put like a magneto in this bitch. Bigger! More fire! is gonna do everywhere. I'm gonna melt the back of that car off. The theory works. The plug just doesn't really cut it. We need it to ignite. We need more ignition. And I probably at the tip helps a lot.
Anything too?
It was huge and we could have made it bigger. I was looking at the shelf, I was like, oh man.
Past that pole, yeah.
Yeah. Steve, fire extinguisher. That was sick as fuck. Bro, fuck. Having it at the tip is probably a lot better because now you have a mix of unburnt fuel, right? You see the cloud of the unburnt fuel and we have the oxygen around it, which will actually ignite it versus in the tailpipe, it's more of a flow of unburnt fuel where there's not much oxygen in there because of course that is part of the combustion reaction. So we need
combustion team.
we need like a little like a solenoid activated like burner right here or something. Just like tape this,
rig some shit, some Home Alone shit, right? Like,
I'm
Macaulay Culkin.
Cause I've seen a lot of these like flame kits, and they'll use like propane injection stuff in the exhaust. I don't want to have to put any ejection in here. I think we gotta have to do a part 2 of this video where we actually come up with something that will ignite it. Because I want the ECU to control it because it's way cooler that way, and it has plenty of power to do so.
Flame won't work because it'll get blown out, so we need a strong start.
So that's why this works, because since it is influxing gas, it allows it not to get blown out.
Be some Home Alone shit. We gotta hit up Macaulay.
Mr. Culkin?
Yeah, jelly bean drops.
That was sick. I wish DJ was here for that. That's good for the heart. Oh my god. Alright boys, so we had some trials and tribulations here. We learned a couple things, right? But at the end of the day, we did get the spit flames, maybe not in the correct way, but it happened. So of course, there are plenty of cars that have D-cell fire tunes without all this crazy stuff. There is a way to do it within the tune to make it work. And it's something I need to learn, and we'll figure it out. But for now, just messing around with the guys, having fun, showing off some of the link functions, showing that you could really write anything you want on this thing is pretty freaking cool. So
You broke my brand new
And that's a plug and play K-Series ECU.
It's a plug and play K-Series ECU. It's a full ass standalone. So either way, we had some fun. I hope you guys got some laughs out of it.
Dang, toasted my almonds.
Literally toasted my own. Brand new shoe.
Also,
Dusted.
we have new beanie colors. Not the
Lilac.
Fire, I like
Orange.
that.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
It's a good color. It's different.
Fire.
Different.
I think there's one more other color.
There's like a sage green, so it's like this pastel color, but
A
green.
little bit, yeah. It's like almost
It's lighter than
hunter.
the last green one.
Yeah, it's lighter than the green one
So
we
if you guys
had.
are beanie guys, go check it out. Be like Austin, match your socks every day with your beanie.
Let's go crazy, right?
Did get some good news to finish off the video. We will actually be able to get the engine built. Had to, before I leave for Dubai Tuesday, we've been talking to Vargas. He's able to squeeze us in. We're gonna leave for Virginia tomorrow.
Are we?
Yeah. I thought, yeah, I didn't tell the boys. Yet. So we're leaving to Virginia for tomorrow, and we're gonna be able to build the engine for the FC. And before,
Ooh, insert audience applause. A little sneak peek. I was gonna ask. It's like quick.
That's coming.
It's down the road, but
March
look how
20th.
drippy Austin is.
new shirt. What up? Quick plug. Ooh, yeah. Team jersey. We love it. So
shirt.
for now, we're gonna end it before I ramble on anymore. You guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, boys.
Have a good night.
Because I